do what makes you happy. Like for me, hiking, nature, animals, like I write and I have these authors. I'm a snob when it comes to literature, and I can't write like these authors. And I have to remind myself that everybody has a voice, and it's your own voice. And you might never sound like Tolstoy, you might never sound like Melville, but you have your voice. And it's the same with photography. There's so many amazing photographers out there, and they're skilled and they're trained and their eye is brilliant. And if you just look at everybody else, my best friend always says to me, comparison is the thief of joy. And I believe it is. Stop comparing and do what makes your heart sing. As silly as it sounds, you love animals, you love nature, you want to, whatever it is, follow it, because it leads you to the right place. I think it leads you to the right people. The people that I've met at these shows, the vendors, the customers, I mean, my life is so full because of art, because of donkeys, the people I've met because of the donkeys, because I have a passion for donkeys, for cats. It's like whatever it is, it might seem so bizarre, but follow it. And I just think it leads you to where you're meant to go and who you're supposed to meet.
Life gets tough, and I know it's hard to cope with the unknown. For all of us, I know it'd be easy if we were perfect, but we're not. So we go to find our faith, to find our hope. It all begins with looking up. It all begins with you. It's time to elevate. We sing it loud and proud. We make our voices known. Nothing can shut them out. Elevate. Shout it for you and me. We can do anything. It's time to set us free.
Welcome to Time to Elevate podcast. I'm your host, Ann Lucente. And whether this is your first time tuning in or you've been with me since the beginning, I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you. So if you've listened to my last interview with Chelsea Pegues, you might remember our discussion about the unexpected ways life brings people into our lives. Well, that couldn't have been more true than when Chelsea and I attended the new Paltz Craft Fair. From the moment we arrived, there was a sense of divine intervention as we immediately connected with incredible individuals who felt destined to cross our paths. So let me share a little bit about one of the extraordinary people we met that day. She's a writer, photographer, and calligrapher who calls Roxbury, New York, home. A lover of the outdoors and an avid hiker, she's passionate about exploring the natural world. Through her photography, she captures the beauty and tranquility of nature, inviting others to share in the moments of awe that stops her in her tracks. Whether it's the grandeur of a mountain or the intricate beauty of a single flower, she aims to convey moments of gratitude and peace, reflecting a deep connection to all living things and those that have passed. With a background in literature, calligraphy, and publishing, she enriches each photograph with storytelling elements, allowing the viewer to see beyond the image. Her deep love for animals fuels her dedication to rescue efforts, and this compassion often shines through in her work. In 2021, she founded Go Lightly Inc., and today her beautiful photo prints and note cards are found in boutiques across the Hudson Valley and Catskills. So get ready to meet my new friend, this inspiring, powerful, and talented artist. Please welcome my new friend, Holly Cohen. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. You don't have to be shy or quiet. It's just me and you. It sounds like we have an audience watching at the moment, but we don't. So how are you?
I'm a little nervous, but I'm good and very excited. Thank you.
Well, to make you feel better, no joke, and I'm not making this up, every time I do a podcast, I'm nervous. Every time. When you think about it, we're just having a conversation, but the fact that it's being recorded probably for you
Exactly.
is the big deal. For me, I'm always like, I want to do justice to this person, and I don't want to, I want to get the right stuff out there. So I'm right there with you, so don't worry about it.
Thank you.
So thank you for being here with me.
I loved meeting you and Chelsea. It was just so cool. So I'm not even nervous about the interview. I'm just nervous about the fact that it's recorded and it's going to be out there. The rest of it, it's like drinking coffee,
I know, but it's wonderful. I actually looked at some of your things, your social media and some stuff out there about you, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you have so many wonderful, beautiful things, and I'm sure I'm only going to be touching on a few things here, so I want you to share whatever comes to mind. And honestly, share everything and anything, because I know there's lots of stories I don't know about, but I want to know whatever you want to share. But anything goes here. I just want you to know that. Okay. So I have to say about meeting, and I swear I am not promoting the new Paltz Craft Fair or any craft fair.
It's amazing. No, it's wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
And the people that you meet there, it's the connection. Yeah.
Have you done it previously?
Yes, I did it. This was my third or fourth time doing it.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yes, I've done it inside in the big tent and then outside in the little tent,
Okay.
which I prefer because I love to be outside, and then most of my friends are outside. And
Yes, and it was a beautiful day. It was a
yeah, exactly.
gorgeous day, and if you've heard my interview, whoever's listening now, if you heard the last one with Chelsea, we met for the first time there, so the whole thing was seriously, I'm not joking, divine intervention, and I I met Chelsea there. That was the first time we saw each other in person ever, because she did an interview with me, and she wrote up an article about me, so we're like, "We have to meet," because we did this whole connection, and I'm not joking, the minute we walked in, there was somebody at the first, and I forgot her name right now, but I wanna call her too. She was selling these really wild clothes that were awesome. Do you remember her? What was her
Yes.
name? Was it Jazzy something, or I don't
Yes, it
remember.
was jazzy something,
It
and
Oh my god.
yes.
So, literally, we were there for probably more than an hour, and we only met 3 of you, because we went to then we went, and I think you knew her. Her name is Debbie, the one with the sticks, the really, really memorable,
Can
um
I show you the stick that I just ordered for her from my 7-year-old nephew who's coming from Europe next week, Monday?
Oh
Well,
my
maybe not, but I'll
gosh.
tell you about it because she's amazing. She handcrafted a stick especially for him.
Oh my gosh, and her name is Debbie, right? Debbie,
Yes,
I forgot her
Debbie
last name.
Fitter.
Is it Ms. Sticks or
Ms.
something? Isn't
Yes,
Miss
Debbie Fitter, and it's
yeah.
Ms. Sticks.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be in touch with her too, because I told her about her being on too, so that'd be really cool.
Awesome.
Would be
She's
cool. But
incredible.
she said, "Oh my gosh, you have to take a look, go see Holly, she's over there." And we're like, "Okay." And we were laughing because we were like having the best time. We shopped and stuff, but we were like, we just got in the door, so we were like, let's go." But I have to say, first, your boots, like, were like Chelsea's like, "Oh, look at her boots." And we're like, "Yeah, I love those boots." So that brought us over, but I will tell you, your photographs, and we'll get into that, and the chipmunk was the first thing I saw, and I was like, "Let's go talk to her," and immediately, the connection was, like, immediate. I mean, seriously. So, I'm so happy to have you here. So, I want you to start by just telling, before the, Go Lightly Inc. world for you, like, who were you? Like, who are you? Share, like, you don't have to share not every detail. You could say, like, where you grew up, or what did you do anything before you actually did photography and all of this, or was it always your thing?
No, it's new. My life has always been books, literature and books. So I worked in independent bookstores for years. I basically grew up in an independent bookstore. Studied calligraphy. It was always books, calligraphy, making books, writing text of books, broadsides. I grew up in Manhattan. Then I moved to the beach for 20 years. And then I moved up to the Catskills. In the past 6 years, I've been spending more time in the Catskills than down in Long Beach, where I was, looking for a home, looking for property where I could adopt some donkeys that I fell in love with. And yeah, so life has taken me from the city to the beach to the mountains. Um,
Wow.
and I've now been
That
here
is
full time 2 years, almost 2 years.
Oh my gosh. That that's amazing in itself. I mean, that I know that's the shortened version of what's happening in life, but, that is very cool. So, I want to know, oh god, I'm so trying so hard not to jump ahead of myself, but so you got up here with, you don't have to tell me the whole story yet, but I wanna know, so where did you meet the donkeys that you wanted to move up with? Were they in Long Island? Were they
No, so they were upstate. The joke
Okay.
in of my friends in the donkey world was Holly will travel to volunteer with donkeys.
Oh, I
So I
love
started volunteering in Ulster Park with a group called Little Braes of Sunshine. Then
Oh,
I volunteered at a place called Peaceful Acres Horses, and they're up just outside of Schenectady in
okay.
Pattersonville. And I met Lily there. So Lily, if she was a human, I would say she's a cross between Mae West and Sophie Tucker.
Oh, I
She's like
love
a
her.
real broad. She would have a cigarette hanging out of her mouth, dangling earrings. She's just a character, and
Love it.
I always, always just wanted to adopt her.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
but she had so many people who took care of her. And so Nancy, the woman who owns the rescue, after COVID, a lot of people stopped coming. And she said, Holly, nobody loves her like you do. If you are ready for her,
Oh my
she's yours.
gosh.
So then I called up the realtor who I'd been working with for years, and I said, now I have to find a place now. So it
Yeah.
took another almost 2 years. Um,
Wow.
and
Okay.
then I found, either the house was perfect for the donkeys, but not for me. The land was right, but the house was wrong, or vice versa.
Yes.
I ended up in Delaware County where I didn't know a soul. I was looking in Greene and Ulster, where most of my friends are from up here.
Mhm.
I fell in love with this house, fell in love with the view. It was just
Oh my
imperfectly
gosh.
perfect for me, perfectly
Wow.
imperfect. Um, yeah, I adopted the donkeys, and life has, I've gone from flip flops and cute little skirts to muck boots and overalls. It's like Green Acres.
Oh my
Never
gosh.
been So it's all new to me. Um,
Oh my gosh, and it's beautiful because I know you're gonna bring me around in a little
yes,
bit just to show me because I got a glimpse of where you live right now, and it's gorgeous, and I got a glimpse
it's
of
beautiful up here,
of
Delaware
Lily
County.
and
I mean,
Cookie.
the Catskills are, yeah, they're beautiful.
Yes, it's beautiful. So you've been tell me again, you've been up here how long now? A year or
Yeah, it will. The girls arrived exactly a year ago, and I
okay.
bought the house. January will be 2 years.
Okay, and
So
are the girls related?
they're not. They're
Okay.
27 and 28 years old.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. How long do, donkeys have what's their lifespan in reality?
in this country, well, in general, they can live till 50. I've met many 50 plus.
Wow.
30 is
Wow.
average. But in working countries, and this kind of says it all, 3 is about average.
Really?
Yeah, because they're just
Really?
so,
Oh
um,
my
the
oh my goodness.
organizations that make, changes and laws and affect change for the working donkeys are the ones that are just closest to my heart. So
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm all about rescuing, not at the level that you're at, but I'm all about that. It's not like I wouldn't do that. I just, like
I
we
mean, I
have
just volunteer. I don't I just adopted them.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
no, me too. That's what I'm saying. I'm all about, like, I mean, like, the dogs that we've had and the cats we've had that have been rescued, except I mean, the first one, no, but then we started rescuing, and it's just something. There's another element to that, for them, and they know it, I think, right?
I think
I
so
feel
too.
that they know it, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing.
It is.
I
The
love
people
that.
I've
Oh,
met who in the rescue world have helped me so much, and I mean, I have a list of names of people that would be so inspiring for you to interview, what they have done for animals. They've just
really?
done so much. So I'm just grateful to have met
I
them,
would
to know them, to learn from them.
Oh, yes. I would love to have them on the podcast if they would be willing after you can share those with me. That would be
Absolutely.
great. Oh, I would love that. I would love that. Oh my gosh. So, I'm gonna just touch on some things that I, want to know, but also, like I said, throw in anything, and then at the end we'll go over it. If there's something I don't ask you, please tell me. So I know you've got first, what sparked your passion for photography, or was that something that you kind of always dabbled in, or
No, I was actually working on a book about donkeys of all things. And I had this incredible writer's block, and I live to hike. So I was always taking photos and hiking, and people were looking at my photos. I would put them on Facebook, and they would say, "You have to do something with them." And I thought, you're just being nice. But then friends of mine who I really respect, photographers and artists, they said, "No, do something." So I thought,
Mhm,
okay, maybe I can raise money for some rescues,
mhm.
turn this into a business, but also do something with it. And so I started, and my cat Smokey, who's no longer here, but she was the inspiration for the entire business, and she's my bestseller. So my logo is Smokey, my cat, and Lily, the donkey.
Yes, I saw
Um,
that. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
so I
Yes.
used to give 100% of anything with a donkey to the rescue where Lily came from, and anything with a cat went to a rescue in Long Beach. Smokey showed up in the rain, but I wanted to give to the rescue in Long Beach called Posh Pets.
Oh,
But then I
wow.
was running myself out of business because she is absolutely my bestseller. So
Yeah.
now 20% goes there, but at least I feel like I'm giving back, and if I'm gonna be pimping out the animals for their photos, at least I can give some.
Hey, I mean, they're benefiting, you're taking good care of them, so there you
Exactly. So yeah,
Oh my gosh. So I want to now that we touched on it, because I really wanna talk about them, if you don't mind,
of course.
individually, because there's some
Anything.
things. So can we start with Smokey? I'm not sure who came first and who whatever, but
Yeah.
I had Smokey on the top of my list because when I came over to when we came over to the booth, I mean, the photographs you have are amazing. I mean, they're just like you're in them. They're beautiful. And of course, I saw Smokey, and there's one where she's looking at the shower curtain that has she's a beautiful black. She was and I know she passed in June of
June
this
16th. Yeah.
June. Okay. So, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry because I can totally relate with that. She's beautiful black little kitty standing there. You could explain how this came about, but she's in this beautiful, like, whitish bathroom, I think, and the curtain is white with the black kittens, and she's just looking at them. It's the best picture. It's the best picture. So tell me about that scene with her.
So it's funny because that scene kind of ties in with the chipmunk as well, because this is sort of when my business took off. I was always trying to figure out, I wanted to move up here, but I didn't know where. So I stayed with friends. I rented apartments. I rented Airbnbs, and I stayed in towns all over, across the river, up and down. And Smokey she was like a dog. She came with me everywhere.
Oh.
So there's this great Airbnb called the Cat's Meow in Red Hook, and you're allowed to bring your cat. So Smokey and I went. And when we got the tour of the house, we walked into this bathroom, and there was a shower curtain with black cats on it. And Smokey just looked up at it. So call it the recognition.
I love that you have your camera. Like, you probably have that everywhere you go, right? It's just like you never know the moment.
That one is my cell phone. I mean, it's basically I have whatever's on me, and if that one you can't. I mean, I don't know how to train a cat to pose, so that was just one of those instances. I grabbed it from out of my pocket and was like, it's
perfect.
And it's one of the best sellers, and people love it, and especially now that she's gone, they've always been my favorite things to sell. But now that she's gone, I thought it would be really good to do the shows because she is the heart of everything. It actually helps because it just makes me so happy when people buy her stuff. And then I get to cut back to the rescue. So it fills me.
It keeps her alive. It keeps her going on and just talking about her too just makes it,
It just
Oh my God. Cause I read when I was looking, and I wanted to know more about her. Cause when we met, I knew that she had passed, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. And I wanted to see her little story. Cause she looks like she's quite the, I don't know if I'm wrong, but she looked quite the confident little, hey, whatever. She just looked like she was little too. She wasn't like very
tiny. Like she probably was the runt of the litter. She's all over my website, her and Lily. There's a whole story, and there's a whole tab about Donkey. I mean, it's a photography website, but there's more about animals than photos on there.
I love it. And I'm going to post all this in the show notes too, and we'll share it again at the end where people can find you, because it's really important it's beautiful. Actually, I was looking through a lot of the photos and reading the stories, but I was reading that she would cruise around New York. I'm reading exactly like what you wrote, right? She would cruise around New York State, right, with you, and viewing the world outside from the comfort of the passenger seat.
Yes.
And I love she loves the mountains and the beach. Just love her. She's like a great traveler. And okay, my favorite. She relaxes to Neil Young and Bob Dylan. I'm sorry. I just want to squeeze her. I'm so happy she was in your life and that you were in hers, because she sounds amazing.
She is, and she loves the Stones too, but she likes more the ballads, And the only thing she really doesn't like is my voice. So when I would sing in the car, which is the only place I sing with the radio really loud, it is the only time she would cry.
Oh,
and as soon as I would stop, she would stop.
Oh my God. She's like, excuse me, I'm being calm here. I'm listening to Neil or Bob.
Exactly.
So you need to not do it. Oh my God. That is hysterical. I love that. And, and as you said, she's the logo, her and Lily are the logo of Go Lightly, which is really cool. And you have cards and prints and do you have mug? I see you have a mug.
No,
for sale?
This is a mug. I don't do mugs, but this is a mug that my friend Anne, who founded Save Your Ass Long Ears Rescue, after Smokey died, she had a friend of hers who was an animal communicator, and both of these women would be amazing for you to meet and interview. I don't know if it's called mug shots. I'll find it for you, but she does these mugs. So
beautiful.
This was a photo that I had of Smokey. That's actually the zip code of Long Beach. It was a pillow she was sitting against. And so she surprised me and had a mug made. So
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw one of your posts on Instagram. This is going to be the Smokey Show. I'm sorry, guys. You're going to have to listen. No, because I didn't meet her, and I wish I had met her, but I feel like I met her. I have
to tell you, one of my dearest friends, Jen Schwartz, who owns Briars and Brambles bookstore in Wyndham. I've done some shows there, and the thing that touched my heart the most was she and a woman who works for her, Laura. They said, let's do a smoky show. So we had a photography show. I believe it was October
Oh,
actually of last year or 2 years ago. Just smoky, just
wow.
smoky. So I was
I
like,
I love it.
yeah,
I love it. And until you see it, anyone who lives until you see her, you really don't understand. But you're getting the gist from how we're talking, but you really the eyes there was one of her peeking out of something that I saw that you had at the show. Also, I saw something, I think it was on your Instagram, where she had is it called like a thunder box or a thunder something that she was in? I My dog would appreciate that. She's terrified she has to go in the bathroom. We have to turn the fan on and she's
it's
like,
the closet. So
oh,
then,
the closet. Right,
yeah.
right.
So I put a blanket down there, and that's what. Even now, when it starts to thunder, my reaction
Mhm.
is run inside to the thunder closet with Smokey because I would just lay
Yes.
my head in the closet with her. It was like a standalone little closet, and we would ride out
Yes.
the storm.
Yes, I can relate because my dog Luna, as soon as she looks at me and we're like, "Let's go," we go to the bath, I have to put the fan on, and she goes, "Okay." She lays there. I could leave the door open for her because she can come in and out, but she needs to have the fan on. She can't hear anything, so I get it. I get it. Oh my gosh. So, tell me about the chipmunk story. Is that you said that's kind of are those connected? Do you wanna tell that
Yeah,
story?
absolutely.
Okay.
Um, so this all sort of happened at the same time. My life was really in flux. Um, there was a breakup. I was moving. I wasn't sure what I like. Everything was just sort of in turmoil. And then it all sort of came to a head. I had a horrible car accident. Everybody was fine, but one car went on fire. My car was
Oh,
totaled. It was just
oh my
really,
god.
really bad, and my head was spinning. So I do what I always do: is I go hiking. It was 2 days after.
Mhm.
I hike when I'm happy. I hike when I'm sad. It's just what I do. So
Yeah.
I was going up to Panther Mountain, which is in the Catskills, and I stopped. It was my first time. I've since been there, God knows how many times, but it's called Giant Ledge. And I sat down and I opened up my little jalapeno tuna packet. And I was so alone and so just, it was just one of those moments, like life just sucked. And I was
Mhm.
sitting there looking out at this beautiful view, and this tiny little chipmunk pops his head over the ledge.
Oh my
And this little guy changed everything, like everything. And I always get, whenever I'm out in the mountains or in nature, that's where I never feel alone. That's where I feel a part of everything. But
Right.
it was a particularly rough time. And this little guy, he was just like, you are not alone. So I call him the messenger. It's like my
Oh,
little
I love
messenger of
it.
hope. Um,
I love
and
that.
then the Catskill Mountain Region Guide, they put him in their magazine twice in one year. And
Oh
people
my
just seem to
gosh.
really connect to that story. It sounds so corny and cliche, but it really,
No.
the power of this little head popping up, he just filled me, and then I just went along my way and I hiked up to Panther and I was like, okay, I can do this. Things will work out. And they did. And it sort of, he was a turning point in my business because I had just started the business a few months before.
Mhm.
And everything just kind of came together after that. And the smoky picture with the shower curtain was a month before that. So
Okay.
those are sort of the very beginning of the business. And then it helped my
Yes.
confidence grow
Right.
um, a lot, which is always an issue, but it helped a lot. So it's all about the animals.
It is, and it's that, we're all like, even the most confident looking people, I believe, we all have a confidence issue. We're all like, "What am I doing? Like, am I really good? Like, why am I doing things?" But I love that I saw the picture, so the photograph, and I saw the large one that you had on the side, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, look how cute he is." And I'm saying he, it could have been a she, I don't know.
He just seemed like a he, but
He
I don't
seemed
know.
like he seemed like a he, and he looked ginormous. I was surprised he was a chipmunk. Like, in
Chipmunk.
the picture, he looks like he's like, because maybe, he just was bold, and he probably popped up to say, "What's your problem? Like, get on with it. What's wrong? You're good," you know? I mean, did he make you laugh? Is that what did it for you? Or do you just feel like it was a confirmation or something?
More stunned, like, because I'm just looking out at this vast, gorgeous, like, one of my favorite views in the Catskills,
Wow.
and this little face just popped up, and I was really just feeling so incredibly alone, and it's just like
Oh
this
my
tiny little
gosh.
thing made me feel, like, connected.
Yeah, that's amazing. Um, so I wanna ask you about the donkeys, Lily and Cookie, who I got to see the other night briefly. Um, so anything else you wanna tell me? We talked a little bit about them, but anything else you wanna mention about them before we go meet them later? Um,
Their characters, what can I say about them? like I said, I've known Lily for, I don't know, maybe 8 years now, and
Mhm.
she's only been here for a year. So she was my logo, even before I had adopted her.
Oh,
So I used
wow.
to always say she's my muse and Smokey's my heart, and the two
Oh,
overlap.
yes. Mhm.
Um, they're just like big goofy dogs. And they're great. I mean, I just want them to have the. Best life they can, you know?
Yeah.
I still wake up every day and say, I can't believe I have donkeys. I can't believe I'm doing this. It's one thing to volunteer at a place. It's another to have a barn and do all this stuff that, I mean, I
Right.
grew up in the city. So
Right.
there's learning curves. There's mice, there's snakes, there's things that I didn't deal with in the city.
Yes.
And yeah, it's been a dream come true. It's been challenging. It's been absolutely everything. Um,
Wow. This
yeah.
would be such a great movie, Holly, no joke. This would be such a the girl from the city up, with mice and snakes and, beautiful donkeys and everything else.
Yeah, there are moments where it's like, careful what you wish for.
I
And
know.
then, but it's
Oh
yeah,
my gosh,
it's
but it's gorgeous. What I can see through here, it's gorgeous where you are, like, your house, your view, I
Delaware County
oh
I
my
mean, all of the
gosh.
Catskills, but yeah, it's so rural out here, which is what I love. I mean, town is 1 block long, 1.5 blocks.
Right.
Um,
Right.
my mom comes up to visit and she's just doesn't understand. And I'm like, really? You think it's rural? I don't really think it's rural. So I've changed a lot. Um,
Right. Where's your mom living now? Where did
so she's in Manhattan, um,
Manhattan.
which is where I grew up.
Right. So big difference, like where you're like, there's people, and now where's the closest house to you? Are they close or no?
Not that far.
You can see them. I mean, it's not
You
like
can
you're
see them
like,
through the trees. When the leaves fall, you can
okay.
see them.
So you've got houses, you've
There's
got houses.
houses. It's
Yeah.
not, yeah. And there's,
Mhm.
um, but I even when I lived in the city, I like to live somewhere quiet. I'll travel. I
Mhm.
like to go out at night, but then I like to come home to my quiet little space. So
Yes.
it's the
I
same.
agree.
I'll travel
Yes.
for an hour, meet you for dinner, go out, hear music, and then but I get to come home to my peace. So
Yes, I feel the same way, like, I'm very because I do, I love to see people, I love people, I love podcasting is, like, a dream for me, I love, like, sitting here talking to you. I also love my quiet time, I love that rejuvenates me, like, I can, like, get back to my, okay, peace and my little just by myself and kinda go inside and have time to think maybe that's,
yeah. I mean,
right?
even as a calligrapher, one of my favorite things to do is to make ink, Japanese or
Oh.
Chinese stick ink, which has a little bit of perfume in it. And when you take it and
Wow.
you put it on the slate stone, it's like all your senses awaken. There's every sense. You get the scent, you get the touch, you get the sound, and it's mesmerizing. And it's really a great way to sort of warm up before you start, you know, doing
Right.
calligraphy. Um, in a very odd way, mucking the barn
Mhm.
is a similar thing, and I've heard people say that, and it's really true. It's just this quiet time. You're with the animals. You're just doing this task. You're listening to them munch. You're cleaning. It doesn't sound like it would be a very zen-like experience. Certainly in winter when you're dragging it through the ice and the snow, it's not. But just the
Right.
actual in the barn, it's sort of meditative, and it's actually a really
Mhm.
nice way to start the day.
I
Yeah,
bet. Now explain, so you said mucking the barn is what it's called? Did you
yeah.
say mucking? So what does that mean? Just cleaning up kinda
Yeah, you take the rake, you clean
okay,
the poop, and I mean, they poop all the
okay.
time, so there's a lot of
Yes,
it.
I'm
Yeah, but
sure.
it's just this quiet
Yeah,
time to sort of contemplate.
right,
Yeah,
right.
so
So what time does your day start?
it all depends. If I'm doing a show, like for New Paltz,
Mhm.
so get up at 5 because I wanna work out just to kinda wake up.
Right.
So between working out, doing the barn, then driving an hour and a half to the show and
Mhm.
getting there and it's so those days start at quarter to 5, 5.
Okay.
Um, Other days can start at 6, 7, 8. There are times the girls sometimes they won't eat dinner until after 10, sometimes they eat I try and keep them on a schedule.
Mhm.
It's always trying to balance how to have a life, how to have a social life, how to
Right.
muck the stalls at night in a way that you don't smell so you can go out to dinner and come back. So it's all balance. So really every day is different. It depends if I've gotta hit the road and get to shops,
Mhm.
sell cards, or if I'm just working at my desk, then I can just go do the girls, come back and leisurely,
Right,
start working
right.
9 to 10.
I love that you call them the girls. It's so
The
cute.
girls.
And they're pretty
So
they sound like they're pretty, flexible. They're like, "Okay, as long as you're
they are.
feeding me and you got my thing going, I'm pretty good," they can go with the time and the
They
flow,
are.
right?
And I also have this, I don't, it's not a bad habit, it's just me, but I need to be outside, and if it's a beautiful
Mhm.
day, or even if it's not a beautiful day, if I can hike,
Yeah.
um, I will go and hike. I will never miss a deadline, I will never miss an order, but if that means coming home and staying up till 3 in the morning to finish an order, but I can spend at least a few hours of the day hiking, hands down, there's
Yes.
not I
Oh
will
my
always
gosh.
always do.
Okay, you and Chelsea are hand in hand. She's a big hiker. So we can talk more about that and you can
Yeah.
I'll go along with you guys, but I'll have to be in the back going, "Okay, wait for me." Um, go on an easy hike, go on an easy hike.
We're all
Um,
kinds of hikes, yeah.
tell me about, the calligraphy more. What do you do with that now? Like, what is that part of your cards, or is that a separate whole
No, I for the photography, I don't put anything in the cards. I really
Okay.
like people to have their own messages, and I love handwritten letters, and I like to receive handwritten letters, and cards are great with sayings,
Yes.
and they're all great, but I haven't combined the 2. Also, for years, I I wrote about calligraphy. I published articles and lots of articles. It's been so
Wow.
long that I've done calligraphy professionally
Mhm.
that when I'm asked to do jobs, I don't do them because I feel like it would take me weeks or months to really get back into a place where I could do a job that's right. I mean, it
Okay.
started many years ago when I got married. My mom hired a calligrapher, and we forgot to do the place cards. We had this fancy
Oh.
wedding, my husband and I. So I was like, "I'll do it." So I got a book and I did it. And everybody was saying, "Wow, they look so beautiful." And but when you know. So I'm like, "Nope, the angle's off. This is wrong. It's all off."
Right,
You're
right.
No, but it's got to be right. So then I started studying manuscripts. I studied with a real purist for a year. I joined the Society of Scribes. I was on their board. Like calligraphy was my life. Um, so that was like a different chapter. And I'm
Mhm.
just setting up my calligraphy studio again right now. And I can't wait to get
Wow.
back into. I really just can't wait to make the ink because
Oh,
that's my
I
favorite.
can't believe you make the how do you make the ink?
Well, I shouldn't say make ink. It's a stick ink. I mean, it's a thick stick, and you add water and you rub it. I mean, I have made ink with just soil, which is a lot of fun, and
Oh my gosh.
it's
That's
just this
amazing.
tangible, sensory, beautiful
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. The paper,
Wow.
it's all about the tactile, the paper, the touch,
Yeah.
the feel of the nib gliding across the page. It just
Mhm.
I feel like it's coming back now that I'm settled and I'm home and I have my space.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
This is all I'm listening to you and I'm like, "Okay, I know you're I'm from the Bronx, so I get it." I'm from, there, and it's so funny because I feel like I told you, I have 2 daughters and a son. I feel like that generation always feels like they need to have their whole life figured out. And, like, if things aren't happening now in the 20s, right, or, even 30s, early 30s, they're like, "Okay, it's over," and it's never. Like,
It's
right? I have reinvented myself so many times, right? And from where I was previously to finding what you really love, and some people find that right away, and some people find that out of college or whatever in school, but I feel like it's not, and I feel like they torture themselves thinking, like, "I'm a failure," and it's so untrue, you know? And I'm listening to you with the different things you've done, and right now, listening to what you do, I'm like, "This is where you're meant to be." Like, the journey was your journey that was meant to happen,
I
but I
believe
feel
that.
like you fit, right?
And it took an awfully long time to get here. And I just think, okay, if I was ready sooner, it would have happened sooner. But there are these,
Right.
I guess you could call them glimmers. There are these moments in life and these things that happen, and they all kind of guide you and lead you. And what I've just learned is to really trust myself. I mean, so I was working on this book, and I just couldn't write. I was stuck, and I would just go hiking. And I would take my camera and I would take photos, and that was all I wanted to do. And friends would say, so instead of sitting at the computer all day and torturing yourself and ending up with a bucket full of just garbage, paper that you're printing and you're throwing out, why don't you try your photography? And I was like, nah, it seems so decadent and I'm not good enough. And I'm not a trained photographer. But I couldn't stop doing it. I couldn't stop hiking and I couldn't stop taking photos. And it was also just this way of quieting my brain and
Mm,
really grounding myself in the moment and finding these moments in life of just absolute peace that doesn't
yeah.
usually exist in my brain, but it exists out in nature. And so being
Right.
out there, in the elements of nature and every weather and just taking these photos. It filled me. And so
Yeah.
being able to do what I love and then start a business doing it, I still can't believe it. And it's
That's
new. It's
wonderful.
3 years old now. So,
Yeah.
um,
That's
yeah, so
wonderful.
I'm just forging ahead.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful, and I was thinking recently I was thinking because we all get overwhelmed and we get like, whatever, and of course, everybody needs money to live and things to do, so that's always the problem, so it's like, if money was no object totally, like, even to myself because I do different things, right? I do podcasting and voiceover, right? I also have other things that I do, and I always thought, if money was no I didn't matter, right? Didn't matter either I had a ton or nobody used money anymore, right?
Right.
What would I wanna do? And that's the best question to ask yourself because then you know what you truly love. And maybe you can't do it full time, or maybe it can only be part of your life. It doesn't matter. But that's the thing that needs to be in your life, I feel, to make you feel fulfilled, whether you can do it full time or not. Because let's face it, yes, and especially nowadays, you need to, survive and make money and live and, pay for food, and do things.
Exactly.
So I just feel that totally. Um, I wanted to ask you before we go, because 'cause you're gonna take me into the barn,
Yes.
right? Um, I wanted to ask you, what's, I know Lily's personality a little bit, right? So Cookie, what's her personality?
Cookie is Cookie's everybody's favorite. I don't have a
Mm.
favorite, but everybody, even my mom, she's like, "I feel really guilty saying this," and it's like, "It's okay, everybody
Oh,
loves Cookie the best." She's just so sweet.
yeah,
She's just the
yeah.
sweetest, whereas Lily's a little bit of a bully. They get
Uh-huh.
along really
A
well,
boy.
but Lily's a bully. They used to call her the attention whore at the rescue
I
because,
love
if you go and you pet Cookie, she'll come over and nudge her, give her a little bite, and I'm always having these talks with her
Yes.
about how there's no bullying in the family.
I love
And
it.
Cookie is just the sweetest thing. I walk around with the muck bucket, and she's just, like, at my side.
Oh. Oh
Sometimes
my
I call them and
gosh.
they come, and they're like big goofy dogs.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I still, I'm like, this has been my dream for so long.
Oh,
Um, just I would travel. I used to travel before I had donkeys. I traveled. I
mhm.
haven't traveled in a while. I used to live to travel, and I would always go to
Right.
donkey rescues wherever I was, any country. And now they're here, and I just can't believe it that they're actually here.
That's
Um,
That's so amazing. When I saw them the other night now I don't know who was who, but there was somebody's eyes that I was like, "Look at those eyes." I thought it was Lily, but I wasn't sure. I can't remember. We'll have to see when we go back. I probably won't know the difference anyway. Um,
I'll introduce you. They're goofballs, and they're
they're
sweet.
so adorable. They're so adorable. So do you want to I want to see if I wanted to ask you something. Oh, before we do head over, but we can come back in and we can finish back at wherever, or we can finish out in the barn. Um For as far as your cards, and I'll say this again at the end, like, we can purchase, right? There's a place, like, where can
Absolutely.
is that on
So
your website,
it
or do you
isn't
have
well, on my website, I believe there's a link to the Etsy store, which I'm
Ah,
at the moment, it's very limited stuff that's on there, but I sell in stores up and down the Hudson Valley and the Catskills, and most of them are on the website.
great.
Um, and people contact me through Instagram for orders, and
Perfect.
Etsy, I'm gonna try and get more stuff on there,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
shows. I do a lot of shows, and those
Yes.
are always on my website, and then I usually post them on Instagram too.
Oh, great, that's perfect, and I think I did when I was looking yesterday, I'm like, oh, I clicked into your Etsy, I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna follow you." So that but it's good in person because you can see everything and you can, you know, touch and whatever, so it's great to know when your shows are. Do you have shows through, like, the fall, obviously, fall and
Um,
holidays,
right now,
probably?
I have a bunch. I have 3 or 4 in December, and
Okay,
November, I'm not sure about yet.
okay.
So it's a little bit slow right now, so now I'm focusing on the stores. It gives me time to catch up and restock the
Right.
stores because every
That's
season there's
perfect.
a restock.
Yeah.
Um, so
And those are listed on your website where they are?
most
Where
of
they
them are,
Okay, great.
and I need to update that as well.
Okay.
But yeah, they're all Hudson Valley and Catskills.
Oh, so great.
Independent bookstores, boutiques,
Mhm.
yeah,
I love it, I love it. Um, so what do you think if we head out to the barn?
absolutely.
I wanna see them again.
Oh,
Let's see,
can you
let's
see
see.
it?
Yes! Oh my gosh.
I think I just
Oh
squeaked.
my gosh! No, I'm squeaking the whole time, I still have no voice, so let me see. Oh my gosh, I love the red barn too,
So
by the
now
way.
we're going in,
Oh, yay!
and you'll see them in person when you meet them.
Yes, I cannot
Come on,
wait.
girls.
Look how beautiful the barn is.
Come say hi.
Oh my gosh, who's this?
Okay, so
Oh!
This is Lil. Come say hi.
Lily. Hi,
Can you
Lily.
see Lil?
Hi, Lil. Oh, I cannot wait to meet you. Hi,
What do you
Lil.
think? She's like, hi, there's that. And this is Cookie, who always grabs her food and takes it down.
Cookie. Hi,
I don't
Cookie.
know if you can see her. I think I'm in the way.
Let's see. Let's see. Almost see her. I see some of her. Let me see that face. Hi, Cookie. She's like, I'm eating. What do
She's
you want?
leaving me alone, exactly.
Stop bothering me. Hi. Oh my gosh. How
So this is their
adorable.
place.
Oh my goodness.
And then
They are just gorgeous.
they have their
Wow.
ramp.
Oh
They have
my
their
God, that view is gorgeous. So do they come out there and that's where they go down in there and they'll hang
They
out?
come out here and they come down and they go all the way down there.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then they have a paddock over here because Cookie has bad leg. Well, she's okay, but she's got some issues and I don't like her to go down if she doesn't feel like it. So now she's got one right out here. And then they can see into the house, which is a problem because, you know, if I'm drinking coffee and I haven't gotten out here fast enough, the braying starts.
Yes.
So,
Oh my gosh. I love it. It is so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
the barn.
That is that is really very nice. It looks really beautiful. That's a lot of work, but you love it.
I do.
Yeah.
It's yeah. The hay, the hay bales. I used to move like 4 or 5 of them and then end up on the heating pad every night. And now I don't end up on the heating pad. So that's good.
Oh, that is wonderful. That's amazing. Oh, it's so beautiful there. Oh my gosh. Talk about filling your soul with.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
It is. It fills me. It absolutely fills me.
Amazing. That is amazing. Really. I love it there. Oh my God. I cannot wait to come visit you.
Yeah.
Chelsea oh my God. Me and Chelsea are coming.
Oh my God. It'll be so much fun.
Oh my God. Really beautiful. That is so cool.
So
I'll let you head back in. Really, thank you for taking. This is wonderful. Oh my God, thank you so much for taking me there. So I have a few more things for you.
Yes.
Let's see what we got. So all right, so looking ahead a little bit. I did I saw there was a collection is something called a new collection called Chat Noir. Am I wrong? Collection?
So that's the Smoky collection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm working on. I have a bunch more cards of Smoky, even though she's gone. I have so many photos of her, and but they're usually. It can't just be a cat. I mean, we all have beautiful, cute cats. There has to be like a little story or something to it.
Right.
So I have one where she's staring at the globe, like the world traveler, or just different. Or the Halloween where she just looks like a scary cat.
I love it.
There's all different, so my favorite book is Moby Dick, and Smoky Moby Dick is one of her looking at a book, and it happens to be Moby Dick. People ask the Bible, they say, is it the satanic verses? She's a black cat. I was like, well, that's a great idea, but no. It's Moby Dick.
You know what? Black cats get a bad rap, I think. And they're so great. They really are. They're all I just love cats. Until we had cats, I didn't understand them. We had right?
Dogs, so.
Yeah. So you have dogs, so you get it. You know what they're thinking pretty much. You know if they love you or if they're gonna bite you or whatever, like, okay. Cats just but then when you have them, you know what they're thinking. And they're so funny. Are they the funniest things, right?
And often disdain in the look.
It's like they definitely know better than I do, and they're like, "Why are you doing that?" I just love them because they are misunderstood. They're just. I think they're just funny. They do something funny every day, and they just make me laugh. They're just so cute. So this is a new collection that's going to be coming out, or is out already?
Yes, there's a couple of the cards that are out, and I'm working on a few more. So the Chat Noir collection right now is a collection of 5 cards of Smoky cards, including the shower curtain, Smoky and Moby Dick, the one in the basket. What else is in there? There's a few other ones. There's Halloween Smoky, and then there's Smoky looking out at the ocean, looking out the window and staring at the ocean. And then there's a new collection coming with a globe and different stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Because she is the business. So I will always make new smoking.
Oh, you have to. You have to. She is. I mean, totally, I can feel it. Like I said, I didn't even know her, and I could feel like I feel like I know her, and she's gotta be there. And for the cards that you also have, photographs, like, that you can you continue to make them? Do you have certain things that you have already, or do you continue to make for
Oh,
people if
I
they
print
want it?
them, yes, all the time, and I get
Okay.
orders, and I often like, I mean, I get a lot of offers. Even after the new Paltz Woodstock show, I got a lot of
Yes.
people writing in saying, "I saw this." I had, I think, 6 orders of the smoky shower curtain, that,
That was
from
so
different shows. They just write
yes.
in, and they want them in different sizes. So,
Yes.
I started the business just making note cards.
Right.
And then I started having shows, and then I started, printing them bigger and 16 by
Yeah.
20 and 20 by 30. And so now it's grown into, shows and cards.
I love it. I love it. So I usually you answered a lot, but I'm gonna ask you the question anyway. I have a signature question that I
Yeah,
like to ask at the end,
absolutely.
and um, so can you share a moment in your life or career when you had to show resilience or experience divine intervention or had to pivot in a big way? And you answered a lot of stuff, but is there anything else that would fit into that?
Um, wow. Yeah, I feel like the divine intervention for me, it's always nature, always. And self-confidence and self-esteem has always been my Achilles heel. Just trying to push past all the negative self-doubt. Like, that's my big every daily struggle. So, um, taking photographs and having people actually like them or believe in them. I really didn't think I could start this business. I was embarrassed. I thought I'd be the laughing I mean, I just didn't believe in myself at all. But I believed in people who I really respected, the fact that
Mhm.
they believed in it. I thought, okay, I'm going to just try. As a friend of mine would talk about big girl panties so many times, it was like, put on your big girl panties and just forge ahead. So I put on my big girl panties, and I forged ahead. But there have been people from shop owners who've become dear friends, people in passing, people I meet at shows who just touch me. I mean, we met at a show, right? Like, people who have touched my heart in so many ways, whether they're just in an instant, in a moment, or they become lifelong relationships. For me, it's that's part of nature. It's people. So that's really been the biggest divine intervention. Um, Books and literature have always been my soul, always. It's what's gotten me through everything in life. Um, Books, literature, art, nature, hiking. And the biggest lessons I ever get are through hiking. Tangible lessons where I could hear a cliche 1,000 times a day, but when you actually are hiking on a trail or scrambling up something really steep and you don't know how the hell you're gonna get to the top, and I start to get anxiety and nervous, and it's like, literally one step at a time, working on a book, one chapter at a time. Stop looking at the whole, like, but when it's physical and it's tangible is when it gets into my everything. So, yeah, I think it's been people and their belief in me and their, that's carried me forward.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that because we see you, we see your photographs, we see everything beautiful, and you're doing everything, so we're thinking, "Of course you're confident, of course you have" right?
Oh,
This is
yeah.
what we see, like, we all portray that because at the moment, when I feel like when I'm in the moment, yes, of course I'm confident, like, I'm talking to you here, I'm excited about being here, but your head goes in so many different
Oh my god,
directions.
and cold
It's
calling. I mean,
oh,
walking into the
yes,
store, I mean, there was a shopkeeper who
yes.
I knew, who's now become a really dear friend, but I had known her. I was shaking when I said, "Can I show you my
Yes.
cards?" And she's like, "Why are you nervous? It's me." And I worked in bookstores forever. I The only
Yeah.
thing I can really sell is books. You tell me what kind of literature you like, what kind of poetry you like, I will shove it in your face, "You've gotta read this book."
Yes,
But selling
yes.
your own stuff is really
Mhm.
hard, and
Yeah.
I just pushed myself over and over again. And, when I didn't hear back from somebody or a store didn't take them, it's like,
Mhm.
"Okay, stop," just
Yeah.
it's let it go. You
Right,
can't base your a good show, bad show, you get into a store, you don't get it. I just
right.
got my cards into Opus 40 in,
Oh,
Saugerties, and I was like, "Oh my
yes.
god,"
Oh
and
my
I
gosh,
was
that's
so
so
excited.
great.
It meant so much to me. But
I
having my
know.
cards in, places like my favorite chocolate store, Fruition Chocolate in Shokan.
Yeah.
When they took my cards, friends said, "I don't think I've ever seen you more excited to have your cards anywhere than this chocolate store." I was like, "I know, I love their chocolate, and they do such good things in the world," you know? Besides
Yeah.
chocolate, like, they do good stuff. So,
Right,
yeah,
right.
those are the
Oh
things
my
that
gosh.
I
That
mean,
is great.
but
That is really I mean, that's really important because what happens is, like, you walk up to like, for instance, when I met you, right? So you walk and they're beautiful. They're all beautiful, but as soon as I heard the stories behind them, that is the even bigger connection, I think, to
and
your
Debbie
work.
loves the chipmunk. She loved the
Yeah,
chipmunk.
yes, and she said Debbie's like, "Go over there," and I'm like, "Okay," and I saw the chipmunk, I'm like, "That's so adorable," and then when I hear the story, that's so powerful, and that's why I said to you, "Oh my gosh, you have to be on the podcast because this is so powerful what you're doing." It's beyond the beautiful, really beautiful work you do, and I'm not just saying that because 'cause you're on the podcast. Yeah, it's beautiful, really. I can't wait to see everything again in person because, it was a quick day, whatever, but really, truly, I
Thank
know it's a daily thing for us, everyone, to get their confidence going, but like you said, I love that you said about being connected to other people and the ones that you respect who are not just gonna say to you, "You're great, go ahead. You're great," right? Even in what I do, voiceover, you don't wanna hear, "Oh, that was great." You
you.
wanna hear, "What can I fix if I need to fix something? What should be different?" Because that's what it's about. It's not about and it's constructive, right? Criticism, which I always hate that word, constructive criticism. I don't like the word criticism, I guess, but
No,
but,
but it's true.
right?
But at the
And it's
other hand, like, the other thing that's really hard is trusting myself. So when somebody that I
Mm.
really respect, I say, "What do you think of this photo?" And I love it, and I'm waiting for them to be like, "It's awesome."
Yeah.
It's okay, it's not your best work.
Oh,
And then it's like, "You know what? I really love it. So I'm gonna put this in
yes.
the promo for the show," and then it ends up as a really good seller. And I used to work
Yes.
at a literary agency, and it was the same thing of trying to trust my voice. It was like a manuscript would come through that I just loved. And if I didn't trust myself enough to jump on it, but then I see another agent, because I was just an assistant, but like an agent who bought it, an agent who I really respect, it was like, you gotta trust yourself.
Yes.
You've gotta ask people for advice, but when it comes down to it, you've gotta
Yeah.
trust that voice. And when
Mhm.
people love something and I just don't like it, it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's not gonna work for me to do it.
Yes.
I mean, I'll sell it, but I'm not gonna maybe print it really
Mhm.
large?
No, that is amazing advice. I'm so glad you said that. That is so true. That is so true. Because it doesn't have to be if it's something you truly believe in and somebody tells you it's not not right, or you'd be like, "Well, I feel it is." And then you
Exactly,
just
and that was a tough one to do. So that
that
was
is
the
you're
lesson.
right. You're right. That is great. That is great advice. I think that's wonderful. Um, I was gonna ask you what advice you wanna give to aspiring artists. So beyond that, that's number 1. That's number 1, trust yourself. Is there anything you can say to anyone who's aspiring to do, whether it's photography or anything, but be in the artist genre, right? Um, that would help somebody who's like, "I really wanna do it. I don't even know what to do or where to start." Like, what do I like, anything?
I mean, in my humble, because I don't feel like I'm somebody to be giving, doling out
You are
advice,
actually.
but I feel like do what makes you happy. Like for me, hiking nature, animals, a lot of people, I mean, oh, I write and I have these authors. I'm a snob when it comes to literature, and I can't write like these authors. And I have to remind myself that everybody has a voice, and it's your own voice. And you might never sound like Tolstoy, you might never sound like Melville, but you have your voice. And it's the same with photography. There's so many amazing photographers out there, and they're skilled and they're trained and their eye is brilliant. And if you just look at everybody else, my best friend always says to me, comparison is the thief of joy. And I believe it is. Um,
Yes,
I would
so
just say
true.
stop comparing and do what makes your heart sing. As silly as it sounds, you love animals, you love nature, you want to, whatever it is, follow it
Mhm.
because it
I
leads
love
you to the
that.
right place. I think it leads you to the right people. The people that I've met at these shows, the vendors, the customers. I mean, my life is so full because of art, because of donkeys, the people I've met because of the donkeys, because I have a passion for donkeys, for cats. It's like whatever it is, it might seem so bizarre, but follow it. And I just think it leads you to where you're meant to go and who you're supposed to meet.
I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh, thank you for sharing that too, because that is really, really you're definitely the person to give. I know you're like, I shouldn't, whatever, but you are that you're in it. You've got the same feelings, you've got the same everything, like, people can relate to what you're saying, and sometimes we just get in our little box and we're like, "Okay, it's just me. I'm the only one who can't go forward. There's something wrong with me," or what's and it takes work to do it. It's hard
Yes.
sometimes to step out and do anything all the time. I shouldn't say sometimes, it's hard to do that. So to just do it, don't you feel like you get to the other side, even the first store you were in, you're like,
Oh
"I
my
did
god.
it. I asked, I opened my mouth and said
Yes.
something."
And
Right?
I still feel like, "Who am I to do this? I didn't study
Oh,
photography." It's they're amazing photographer, and then I just think, "You know what? I if I keep looking at life that way, I'm gonna stay in this little box and not do anything."
right. Exactly.
I went
Yes.
to, I really wanted to learn about donkeys, and so I flew out to the International Donkey Welfare Symposium at UC Davis years ago, and I thought, "Who
Wow.
am I to do this from New York City, going to the symposium?" Um, Actually, I lived at the beach by then, but I thought, "Well, where am I gonna meet donkey people who have rescues, and how am I gonna learn?" And some of
Right.
those people have become my dearest friends, and since then, I've gone every year or done it virtually with friends who come and we Zoom together,
Oh,
and, it's
that's
just
great.
bizarre things, but follow it. Whatever your passion is, no matter how bizarre it seems, just trust it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. So, just quickly before we go, so what interested I don't think you mentioned why donkeys. Was it just something you always had an attachment to them, or was there a specific moment where you're like, "I
Everybody
love
asks me that. I mean, I always joke, I'm like, "Well, Cupid struck me in the ass." Um,
I like
I think part of it is that I don't even know they're one of the most, if not the most abused animal in the
Mm,
world. Um,
I did not know that. I did
yes,
not. So, if
the
nothing
working
else, to share
donkeys
that is
around the world,
say that
um,
again?
the working animals are
Oh,
just, and then that's a whole 'nother story, but
yeah.
I mean, this kind of says it all. I mean, I love all animals. I love donkeys,
Mhm.
I love pigeons. My bird watching
Oh.
friends are horrified, you know? Um, but donkeys are so intelligent and they get a bad rap.
Yeah.
Pigeons are so amazing and they get a
Yeah.
bad rap. I
Yes.
guess I'm kind of the underdog person.
No, I'm with you there. I know, and pigeons, especially living in Manhattan, you see more pigeons than because like, I don't see any pigeons up here. Do we see pigeons up here? I don't know.
Rarely, and I get so excited when I do.
Right, I think maybe I did once too, and I was like, "A pigeon? Why is there a pigeon here?" That's yeah. I no, I agree with you. This is such wonderful work you're doing in so many different directions. Like, it's got so many facets to it. It's not just about taking photographs or just about calligraphy. It's just there's so many facets to this and so many people and animals and beings that you're touching. I just think it's wonderful. Is there anything else that you wanna share that I didn't ask you? Was there anything you wanted to mention or talk about?
Uh, I don't think so. I don't know. I'm like, you know me, I could ramble on forever. I don't know. Um,
No, just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything for you because there's so many good things, you really have so many good you have so much goodness in your life and so many good things around you. Um, yes. So do you have a favorite quote
I
that you
do.
wanna
And
close
I
us out?
actually I have a favorite quote, and it's been a favorite quote for a really long time, but I have my book with me so that I don't mess up the quote. Um, and I use it a lot. It just happens to be from Moby Dick. Um,
Great.
so it is, and I knew you were gonna ask me for a quote. From chapter 12. It is not down in any map. Two places never are.
Oh,
And I just, it, I mean, I underlined it when I first read Moby Dick
yeah.
almost 20 years ago. I see it online and it always strikes a chord with me because it's just, I love to wander and take adventures, and I'm not a literal, logical person. I'm a bit of a dreamer. And so it just speaks to me when I'm hiking. It's not about, I mean, yeah, you need a map, but it's not about a map. It's about the
Mhm.
imagination and what you can do with it, and then you can soar.
Yes.
Um, so
I
that's my
love
quote
it.
that I use all.
I love it. That gives me chills. That really gives me chills because I'm with you about dreaming. Sometimes I go in a direction and I'm like, "This makes no sense," but I feel it,
Exactly.
And it takes a lot, though, to listen to that, right? Over the years, it took me a long time to listen to that inner voice where I'm like, "I have no idea why I'm going this way. This is not the way that would be
Yeah,
on my map," right?
sort of like, how did I end up in if you told me, 15 years ago
Yes.
that I would end up in the Catskills with 2 donkeys taking photographs,
I love it.
Or like when you fall in love with somebody or you make a new
Right.
friend, it's not about there's no map on how to do it.
Mhm.
Finding the right house, I looked for 5 years. I said to everybody, "How will I know?" You'll know, and I
Yes.
feel like that's internal. That's not external. It's something you just
Yes.
know. It's not a map. There's no guide. You can read all the guidebooks you want, but
Yes.
it's the place inside of you and in your
Yes.
imagination. So that's
I oh my gosh. I agree, and I can't that's the thing, and when people say to you, "You'll know," you think, "That's not true, I'm never gonna know,"
and
but
you
you
do.
do.
You
You
do.
do. I think we're just impatient. Obviously, we want it, like, now. I wanna know right now what it
Exactly.
is, but that's yes. Oh my gosh, Holly, this was so wonderful spending time with you. I can't wait
I
to
can't
see
wait
you
for you guys
again.
to come up, meet the
Yes,
girls.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So tell us again where everyone can kinda find you. What
Okay. And thank you so much for
Oh my
everything.
gosh.
So, my website is Go Lightly Ink with a K because I'm a calligrapher. So it's ink, not as in incorporate, but
Oh,
INK,
yes, yes, I like that.
golightlyink.com. The Instagram is Go Lightly Ink _cards. Um, Lots of stores, lots of indie bookstores and shows. If you go on my website, usually under events, or if you follow me on Instagram, I always post when there's something coming up.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. I cannot wait. I cannot
Wonderful.
wait. I'm gonna look and make sure the shows and all that kind of stuff, and you said you post on Instagram when that's coming up and stuff too, so I'm gonna I already follow you on there. I follow you everywhere.
I follow
But
you too.
okay. Well, I cannot tell you. Oh, I wanna give a quick shout out because I like to do at the end. My daughter, Victoria, I don't know if I told you this, but Victoria Lynn Purdy, she created the theme song for Time to Elevate. She's a singer-songwriter. So
No.
that's her. And that's another story of how things just happen, years
No.
and years before I said, whenever I have a podcast, I want you to create a song for me, but I never saw it in the vision. And there it is. Here we are. It's just
Wow.
amazing. Yeah, it's
Wow.
amazing. I don't even want to leave you, but I'm going to have to leave you. But I'm going to see you again, and I'm so excited about seeing more of your work and things like that. And I so appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much. And I apologize if I've interrupted. It's a bad family habit of some
Actually, I was going to say it was me because and you did not interrupt at all. I was trying to I should just hold my mouth sometimes
mm-mm.
because that's our family.
That's just how I talk. And
No, you absolutely
I
did
try
not
to
interrupt. You did
um,
not. I may have interrupted you. Luckily, I can edit myself out a little bit. This was beautiful. I can't wait to see you again.
thank
I
you so
I
much.
love it.
Thank
Thank
you so much.
you.
I'll talk
Aw,
to you
thank
soon.
you.
Life gets tough, and I know it's hard to cope with the unknown. For all of us, I know it'd be easy if we were perfect, but we're not. So we go to find our fate, to find our hope. It all begins with looking up. It all begins with you. It's time to